Hello, my name is Josie and I am doing my curiosity project on Greek mythology. Here are the names of the 12 main Greek gods and goddesses. Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, Hera, Hestia, Hera, Aphrodite, Hermes, Artemis, Hephaestus, Ares, Athena, and Apollo. There are also many others, and demigods, which are half human, half god. Who are the Greek monsters? There are also many Greek monsters which are a big part of the myths. Cyclopses, giants, sirens, Medusa, Chimera, Pegasus, and many others. Centaurs, Chimera, Pegasus. What are each of the Greek gods famous for? Zeus is the god of the sky. He controls all of the weather, and when he gets angry, he can throw his thunderbolt down to earth. Next, Poseidon is the ruler of the sea, and he has a trident that can shatter any object. Hades is the ruler of the underworld. He is very greedy and never wants any of his subjects to leave. Hestia is the goddess of the house and Zeus's sister. Hera is the goddess of marriage and is Zeus's wife. Athena, my personal favorite, is Zeus's daughter, fierce and brave, only fights in self-defense, and represents wisdom, reason, and purity. Aphrodite is the goddess of love, desire, and beauty. Hermes is Zeus's messenger, and he has a winged hat and winged sandals. Artemis is the huntswoman of the gods and represents the moon. And last but not least is Hephaestus, who is the only god who is physically ugly, and he is the god of fire and forage. What are the Greek monsters each famous for? First, Cyclopses were giant one-eyed monsters. Next, the giants were just giant humans. Sirens were beautiful bird women who sang such sweet songs that they lured sailors into rocks. Centaurs were half man, half horse, and were very wild. Medusa is very, very ugly, has a hair of snakes, and if you look into her eyes, she turns you into stone. Chimera has 3 heads, a lion head, a goat head, and a snake head. And last but not least, Pegasus is a winged horse who brought Zeus his lightning bolts, which by the way were made by the Cyclopses. When did the Greeks believe in Greek mythology? The Greeks started believing in their mythology around 700 BC, but Zeus is believed to have originated from the Proto-Indo-European culture that's from around 2000 BC. When did they stop believing in mythology? The Greeks believed in their mythology until they were overthrown by the Romans in 88 BC. And in 392 AD, Roman ruler Theodosius banned mythology from Roman culture. Where are the Greek myths set? The myths are set in several different places. Most often they are set in Mount Olympus, where the gods and goddesses live. Some are set in the underworld, where Hades rules. Some are set in the ocean, and some are even set in Athens, a real Greek city. Where did the Greek gods live before they overthrew the Titans? It turns out that gods and goddesses have always lived in Olympus, before and after they overthrew the Titans, except for Poseidon and Hades. Okay. Why did the Greeks overthrow the Titans? To explain this, you need to know one of the myths. Uranus and Gaia prophesied that one of Cronus' children would eventually kill him, and Cronus was very scared. So when his children were born, one by one, he ate them. Finally, when Zeus was born, his mother was fed up with Cronus eating her children. So she fed Cronus a rock wrapped in cloth instead of her poor baby Zeus. Years later, when Zeus was an adult, his mother fed Cronus a potion that made him throw up all of her children. All of the children were adults now and were angry at Cronus. They declared war and eventually overthrew the Titans. Why and how is it possible that Greek and Roman mythology are so similar? First of all, the Romans conquered in 88 BC. The Romans borrowed their mythology because they didn't really have their own. But they changed the names and some other things that I will talk about later. How do we know about Greek mythology today? At first, the stories were passed down from generation to generation by word of mouth. Later, they were written down by Greek poets and the books were passed down. How are Greek gods and Roman different than Roman gods? There are several differences that the Romans changed. First, they changed the names, like I talked about earlier. Next, in Greek mythology, the gods were based on human traits, where in Roman mythology, individual characteristics were not important. In Greek mythology, creativity was more important than physical works, where in Roman mythology, actions were more important. In Greek mythology, the gods were beautiful and strong, but in Roman mythology, the gods had no physical appearance, which most people don't know. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, my PowerPoint.